What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. 40 Super Ammo Testing Series continued. Today we're on number 2. This is an Underwood offering. This is an Xtreme Penetrator, 140 grain, going at 1600 feet per second on the box. This is a Lehigh Defense projectile loaded by Underwood, and they, like I said, 1600 feet per second. Hopefully have this thing smoking. For those of you that don't know what 40 Super is, there's a little bit of history behind it, and we're going to go over that one of these days. But for the most part, just imagine a 45 caliber case neck down to 40 caliber, kind of like a 40 caliber is neck down to 357 SIG. So imagine a big boy version of a 357 SIG, kind of. But the thing is that 40 Super gets some no joke velocities and penetration sometimes. You usually want to shoot these out of guns that are hardened a little bit, or at least that's what I call them. You want to increase the recoil spring weight a little bit and do maybe a few other things to make sure that the gun is capable other than the barrel swap that you're going to have to do. You might have heard of 45 Super or 450 SMC, kind of in the same family of power right there. You might want to check out our playlist on those two cartridges. It's pretty cool. Back in the day when people actually wanted power, they tried everything they could to squeak every little amount of foot-pounds or velocity out of 1911s and other guns. I guess you can say those are the good old days of guns, because anymore people are only concerned, it seems to be, for 9mm high-capacity polymer handguns. Some really cool things happened back in the day when it came to putting power into handguns, and now it seems to be totally ignored. But not on this channel. We're going to show you what it's all about. Hopefully some of you guys get some ideas in your head of some cool guns you might want to carry, or at least use for fun. With that said, you can still find it loaded from Underwood and Double Tap, maybe a couple other places, and you can definitely hand load it yourself. This here gun that we're going to be using today is a Remington R1 1911, just a basic 5-inch 1911, and it can definitely handle it. We're going to use this firearm to put 5 rounds into this B8 target. After we get it through the chronograph, we're going to do 5 shots so that we get an average of velocity and foot-pounds. Now, we do our accuracy testing at defensive ranges, and we do it offhand because in the real world, you might not have a bench or a table or a rest or something like that to shoot off of. So I just do it offhand and we see what we get. After we do accuracy testing, we're going to move the chronograph and we're going to put in front of the gel block so we capture the velocity of the exact bullet that's going to be hitting the gel. We're going to be shooting into 10% clear ballistics gel. This one's clear, this one's kind of clear, and this one's not so clear, but that's all right. These are kind of backups. I'm assuming we could get through the first one. I don't think we're going to get all the way through, but just in case, we're going to have 60 inches of block because Xtreme Penetrators, hey, they're penetrators. All right, we have 5 loaded up. Let's put 5 rounds into that B8 target. We're about 20 feet off the target, 15 feet off the chronograph. Woo! 1601, and I shot very high on that one. That one went where I needed to. I think on the first one I didn't have a good sight on the top of my sights here, getting the even plane. I always have the sun to my back with 3-dot white sights, and sometimes it doesn't work out. So throw the first one out. The second one got in the X. That's where it's supposed to go. 1582. 1573. 1566. And 1575. Let's take a look at that target. Well, other than my complete screw up right there, that's a really good group. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. I started to walk around the X just a little bit. I'm telling you, that was me not having my sights confirmed, and I touched the trigger a little too early. So throw that one out of there. That is awesome. Really high speed. A lot of times we're finding out a lot of these very high speed cartridges have super good accuracy. And also, that's a great amount of foot-pounds of energy downrange. All right, 15 feet off the block and the target this time. Let's see what we get in the gel. I'm assuming it's going to be pretty impressive. Ooh, I think I might have seen some fire or spark. I'm not sure. We got an error on the chronograph, of course, but we have the previous data. Let's take a look. Well, there we go. There's our entrance wound, and as soon as it goes in, you start seeing it do a little bit of a ripple effect. It gets some pretty gnarly damage in there. And then coming over from the side, very nice. We have a good clear gel block to work with today, and we can see that, let me get focused in here. We can see that that's definitely a permanent wound track of just a lot of pushing things out of the way. There's a lot of fluid movement going on. Those flutes that are on those bullets, they just push things out of the way, and they do it pretty consistently. It goes all the way through the first 20 inches of block, gets into the second block or the catcher block. It pokes all the way to, I'd say, 26 3/4 inches, and then bounce back and settles the bullets right at about 25.5. So let's take a look from the top after we scan back one more time. Again, very consistent, and it penetrates. So I mean, gel's a pretty tough medium. A lot of people talk about if gel is good or not to see what a bullet might do. It's very elastic, it comes back, so anytime something does leave something permanent, you know that it's had a pretty good temporary wound cavity in there to leave the permanent wound cavity. All right, from the top, you can see the same consistent wound path all the way down. It actually looks a little bit better from the top. Sorry, you got my shadow to deal with, but very nice all the way until it gets down to a little bit more of a piercing wound path like most bullets do towards the end when they lose their velocity. But it makes it into the second block, and again, blocks are elastic, so to get out of one block and get into the next block can be a little bit of a chore sometimes. But it pokes through. You see it has a little bit of bounce back, and you see it's straightforward. It has no deformation. We're going to pull it out anyway, but pretty awesome that these bullets do what they do and they don't deform at all. So that's what it looks like after it comes out. Pretty intact. It has the grooves from the rifling, of course. A lot of people say that, oh, you could probably reshoot these. Maybe. Might not be the best thing to do, but the idea is, yeah, it's intact. It takes a lot to destroy something like this. I'm not going to bother putting the weight or anything like that up in the corner because you know what it weighs and you know what the diameter is. So there we go. Xtreme Penetrator 40 Super. So there you go. Another 40 Super test in the book. The information's there. Use it as you want it. You saw the temporary wound cavity. You saw the permanent wound cavity. You definitely saw the accuracy when I wasn't shooting like an idiot. And the ammo itself shoots pretty nice, at least out of the 1911. Does it have recoil? Is it a little bit more of a monster than, let's say, a 45? Of course. Does it feel like some very hot 10? Yes. So if you can shoot very hot 10, then you can shoot things like 45 Super, 40 Super, 450 SMC. Those things shouldn't be a problem for you. Don't let anybody scare you. I mean, people shoot 45 Roland or 460 Roland, which is a 45 really extended out there. They put compensators on the gun that helps it a little bit, but still, it's a monster of a cartridge, and people handle it all the time. Let me know in the comments what you think about this ammo or 40 Super in general. I think it's pretty cool. And also let me know if you would carry this, because this is a total butt whooper of a cartridge. Hope you enjoy these kind of videos. Thank you for watching this video, and until we see you next time, stay safe, have fun, and keep shooting. One of the Supers, maybe? Whoa, whoa, whoa. I might have made a mistake right there. You can do 38 Super, you can do 40 Super, 45 Super, but please, stay away from 30 Super carry, guys.